66th episode here of Marketing Made Easy. I'm always with my good friend Scott Vogel, who always has the volume turned up on his side, and that's why you get the feedback going, but that's okay. We always get these things worked out at the beginning. He's in the green room, and I'm going to bring him in. We're going to be talking today about Brian Tracy's formula, this 6-word formula for selling. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me bring in my good friend, as always, Scott Vogel in the house. My friend, there you are. What's going on, brother?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Just been goofing off all day long.
Good, you too? Well, it's one of those goof off days. It's May the 4th, man. Like, what else are you supposed to do on May the 4th? Are you our Star Wars fan?
Yeah, not obviously to the extent you are.
Well, I'm not, like mega. But I mean, I remember when Star Wars came out. It was funny because we went to the drive-in to see it. I went with my family, and we 15 minutes into the movie, we left. It's like my dad's like, "What is this?" We're like, "I don't know. This thing sucks," right? So we left, and then the whole thing blew up, right? And I'm like, "Wait a second, I must be missing something here." And I think I was, I don't know, 12 years old or something like that. And it was like, wow, this is amazing. And I went to see it, I don't know how many times, 12 times or something like that. They can't hear you. Oh, no, that's not a good thing.
Can they hear me?
They say they can't hear you. Maybe I might have to bring you in like the emergency thingy into.
I wasn't saying anything for a while, so.
Into.
Anything to do with it.
Can you still, Susan? Can you do me a favor? Can you hear Scott? Can you let me know, or I'm gonna have to bring him in on the other broadcast here. Yes or no? If you can hear Scott. Or anybody. And by the way, while we're waiting for any confirmation that we can hear Scott, thank you for being here live. I see some viewers already in the place. And if you're here, let Streamyard know, please, by clicking in the link above this or below it, wherever it is you're seeing us, because we could be in my Facebook page or the Facebook group, or you could be on YouTube. Just let people know that you can that Streamyard can have access to your name, so I can see when you actually make a comment and I can give you some props. So apparently they can't hear you. So what I'm going to do, Scott, is just bring you into Streamyard. Or unless, why don't we do this? Why don't you exit and try again to come in through Ecamm just to see? And we'll try that again. See if he comes in and if you can hear him. All right, Scott.
I'm back here. Can I be heard?
Let's see here.
Is my voice being transported through the interweb?
How about now, Susan, Petra, anybody? Can we hear Scott now? Because I can hear him on this side.
That's all that counts, Joey, is that you can hear me.
Yeah, true. They don't hear you? Help us out. Yeah, exactly. Maybe not. Nope, still can't hear him. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna exit you out of there, and then I'll bring you in on the Streamyard thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right, give us a second here, and I will get emergency bringing Scott in. It's more than likely it is on my side because I've got the microphones all set up here, and I might have clicked the wrong thingy, which mutes Scott. So I apologize for that. Let me get over to him. Come on there, and give him the link, and we'll be right back up and running with Scott in a second, and I'll bring him in. All right, cool. So there he is. Add him to the stream. Say something, Scott.
Something.
I knew that was coming.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, and I just went all red. It's like I got a sunburn now for some reason on my face. I don't know if it's coming across. There it is. It just changed it up. Wow. Okay. Talk about technical problems. We are already 10 minutes into the show, and it's all I'm only getting
How are we
having
10
technical
minutes
issues.
how are we 10 minutes in when it's only 5 minutes?
Yeah.
What's that math?
Yeah, I know. Well, you know me and math, man. We don't get along, right? Math is not an exact science, as you know.
Are you really a 6-figure Kajabi hero, or you're a 3-figure Kajabi hero?
Yeah, whatever was sent to me in the mail is I just leave it. So it could have said put something here, or put note
Why
here.
don't you take the 6 and turn it upside down, and you'll be a 9-figure Kajabi hero.
Exactly. So we're talking today, Scott, about the 6-word formula to sell from Brian Tracy.
Yes.
Right. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I mean, as you know, we make this stuff up 10 minutes before we go live. So I opened up my handy dandy journal that I've been using forever. This is actually my very first journal when I got into coaching back in 2012, and there's so much great stuff in here that I figured, all right, why don't we talk a little bit about this? And I also made some notes that we could share with everybody. So are you familiar with what it is?
Why don't you share with us what it is, Joseph?
Here it is.
Because I figured you'd have a fancy display of it.
It is. All right. So let me share that with you. This is what it is. It is, and I gotta move it over.
By the way, because I'm on there. If you want to,
so you totally screwed everything up now.
I love you, by the way.
So now I got to move things over to try and make it all work. Let me see. Does that work?
There you go. Now move it down so it's okay. Perfect, Joseph.
There we go. That's what it is. That's the 6-word formula to sell. Spend more time with better products. Better products.
There you go.
So let's get into this. Let's get into this. Why are we talking about this, and what are your thoughts on this? And do you follow this rule?
I live by that rule. I don't follow it. I live by it. I find those prospects, or whatever you want to call them. Some people don't like that, but I find people that are my avatar, are my people that I love hanging out with, that I love engaging with and playing with, and I spend time with them. And then they want to spend time with me. They want to come hang out with me, and they want to chat with me, and they want to send me money. And those are the kind of people I want to hang out with. Not necessarily that they always have to spend money with me, but the more time you spend with better prospects helping them, the better off life becomes for all of us involved. I was on with someone the other day, and I watched them spending time chasing a list of people that were worthless. Worthless from a standpoint of not worthless human beings, but worthless from the standpoint of they were not bringing value to the economic engine of the business. They were taking up X's and O's, and they were taking up real estate on a screen in an email list because they opted in somewhere. And I don't want to spend time with people that aren't serious about furthering their lives in what I want to help them with.
Right.
So why would I spend time trying to sell them or convince them? And so you talk about this, Joey, and you use your dream client.
Yeah.
Why would you spend time with anybody other than a person who is a dream client? Why would you want to attract anybody that's not a dream client? You want to repel people that are not your dream client. And that's what Brian Tracy's saying, would spend more time with better prospects.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about in great detail last week about how we go and find those people that we really want to do business with and help them and spend time helping them. That I got you on a call with some friends of mine who I like spending time with because they're cool people. If somebody ain't cool, I'm not hanging out with them. I don't know how much time I've got left on this journey, on this planet that we're on. So I've only got so many hours in a day. I was on a call with a coaching client. I have very few of them. I don't really do that much. And I was like, I'm not doing that much coaching anymore And, I was explaining to him why, because I don't have enough hours in a day right now to do all the things that I need to get done for the current projects that I'm engaged in.
Yeah.
So the time that I want to spend, I got to choose it wisely.
Yeah.
Think about it. If we engage in this thing, whatever number of days, let's just call it 4 or 5. And we engage for 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day. Let's just call it 50 hours a week. And of those 50 hours, we perform nature's tasks, biological tasks. We eat, we take breaks in that. So let's say that out of that, we spend 6 hours actually engaging. And all of a sudden, if we're spending 3 or 4 of those hours engaging in our marketing, our product, our development, whatever it is that we're doing, our building of our stuff, the doingness, that only leaves a few hours a day to engage. Now, I spend an hour or 2 a day in a hot room behind me. So what am I going to do with the couple of hours that I get to choose who I want to hang out with, who I want to spend time with, and who I want to build my brand, my company, my legacy with? It's going to be people that I love hanging out with, that really value the time we spend together.
Right.
Or somebody that's like, hey, I was in the blankety blank group and I was watching your posts and you seem to know what you're talking about. I'm talking about you, by the way. You, Joey, I've been hanging out and watching you. You know what you're talking about. And I'm a heart-centered business person and I'm really struggling. I bought all this crap and nothing's working, but I think you're the kind of guy that could help me. Well, that's a better prospect for you. Somebody that's already pre-qualified themselves, instead of someone that's like, I heard this guy, Joey Ragona, and something he's got, and I got to make a whole bunch of money by next week. So how can you help me? And you're like, bzz,
yeah, exactly.
bzz.
Yeah. It's like you ever see the Ellen show where they got him up on the big podium thing and she presses the button and they go flying down? Like, I'd love to have that. So like, no, thank you. See you later, right?
That's again, that's part of the day that I choose to read books, not to watch, TV. But that's just me. So, Joey, it fits within the whole theme of club and Atlas and getting people to come to you. And the more we get out there, one of our first programs that we're doing next Tuesday in our behind the scenes VIP studio, one of our creators is going to talk about how do we put content out that provides engagement and value and not focus on sales and marketing.
Right.
And taking the pressure out of that.
Right.
We take the pressure out of it because it's like, oh my God, I got to have this thing and I got to have the offer and I got to have the landing page and I got to have the funnel. I got to have the email sequences. I got to test PayPal and I got to test Stripe and I got to make sure the integration and the Zap and the Thrive and the thing and the that and the that and the, but wait, hold on. How about if you made a video or a post or a blog or an article or a live that just, the goal was engagement and value. Think about all the pressure.
Dude, I know you're speaking my language. Like this is exactly everything that I live for and teach. And we, you speak about Atlas, and we had the very first one today. And this, I saw a lot of people's eyes open to, just some of the key elements of that, which is spend more time with better prospects. And one of those things is everything that you just said rolled up into one, which is basically their timeline, right? Spend time with better prospects. And I'm using Brian Tracy's words here because this is his formula. I would call them dream prospects or dream, whatever, but it doesn't really matter. It's like spend time with those people and give them the value, relieve them from all the pressure. And when they're ready, they will buy from you. And that's just, Atlas kind of roll up into one. And once we understand that, it's so much easier even for us as marketers. Like, I don't know. I mean, I do know how stressful it is. And even just watching you, all the stuff that you've done over the last just month alone, my God, putting all the pieces together behind the scene. And when I released Atlas, it was like, I'm not doing that. Even even just going into
Yeah.
just the card alone, Thrive card, and the couple of mistakes that happened was easy to fix, but that was even more stressful for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I got to go back in and do this and that. So I can imagine, and I've been through it, right?
Yeah.
But that's a whole other issue that we're talking about. Is just to make it simple, but focus on who do I want to hang out with. And I told the group today that, you know, all of you are sitting with awesome people under your noses, and instead of engaging and trying to go out and bringing more people into, again, the fish into the pond, which is the worst analogy. I got to come up with a better one, but getting more fish, like feed the fish that are already there in your aquarium, in your feed them, like nurture them.
Whoa. What is this fish and aquarium? I thought we had VIP members coming into the club, into the VIP room. Let's get back to the club thing, dude. We're not fish. We're not octopi and shrimp. We're club members of a very elite group.
All right. So if you want to use the analogy of the club, yeah. So
I do.
It is, you're in the VIP area. So those are the people that you take care of. The people that are outside that don't vibe with the club, that don't want to get in, they're listening to the music on the outside of the club because, you're always broadcasting to the outside world of what's happening on the inside. It's like, what? I don't like that music. I ain't going in there. And that's cool. So that's the lead magnet, or I call it the gift, right?
You just made a really good point, Joey. You broadcast that music outside to the world to find out those people that are like, you know what? I really like that vibe. I like that music. I like that DJ. I want in.
Yeah.
I want in. Not, hey, come on in and I'll bribe you to come in. It's like, I really want into this thing. This is like, you and I were talking and, spend more time with better prospects. That the current group I have in our company, in our audience, it's a very small group. And we just gave them an opportunity last week to get involved in a new opportunity, which is a coaching training program. Somebody very wise told me not to call it a membership. He told me to call it a coaching training handholding program, which is what it is. And they want to be a part of it. They want in. I didn't have to sell them. And I created a page, a simple page. There's nothing on it but some text and some bars and a couple of buttons. And I sent out a couple of emails that basically said, look, you want to hang out with us and learn some cool stuff? Here you go. And that was it. There weren't like the cart's closing, this and that. It happens at midnight tomorrow that I'll take it down and it's gone. And so I sent out an email last night and a bunch of people said, I want to join this thing. Yeah. They wanted in. I want to hang out with those people that love using, that love studying, that love figuring out how to write marketing copy, that want to attract people to them, that don't want to go out and run Facebook ads and drive 1,000 people and have an autoresponder sequence and put them through a funnel with a lead magnet and a tripwire and blow them up. Better prospects, we want to hang out with them. We want to engage with them. We want to give them value. We want to give them gifts and invite them into our world. And as they come into our world, we give them more cool stuff. And we think about how do we make their lives better and better and better.
Yeah, and that's, I think, really what the big point about this is, that it's spending time with those better prospects. It's not about, well, these guys, even if I do know that they're better prospects, well, they didn't buy in this last week. I put them through a 7-day sequence and they didn't buy. So, well, I got to go out and find other people. Well, that's the opposite of what we're saying. It's like, no, let's spend more time with those people, right? They have put up their hand. They've paid to get into the club. They've gone through the bouncer. They've selected, the way you want to, the way I analyze this or parallel it with the music is that's your personality. That's your vibe. That is your opinions. I know because as a DJ, I would play a certain type of music to get a certain crowd in the club. I knew what I was doing and the whole thing. And I would get the cooler DJs playing the underground stuff and all would diss me all the time. Dude, you're like selling out. You're playing this. You're playing. This is who I want to attract, and this is the reason why I do it, right? And so it would repel, like you said, like would repel the other people who wanted to hear a different type of music. So the music is your opinion. When you go out into the world and you broadcast to the world, here's who I am, here's what I believe, here's what I love, here's what I'm passionate about, here's what I'm great at, here's some of my experience. They align with you or they don't align with you. And it's not about convincing, because that's the worst place in selling to me, is to be in that place where you got to convince somebody to buy something. The best place is when they, like you said, put up their hand and say, hey, you know what? I'm kind of ready to buy now. This is a really cool thing. What do you have? Or like you did, put out a simple email and says, I got this thing. Are you ready to join us on the journey right now? And if you are, here's the link.
Hey, and if you're not, that's okay too.
Yeah.
Anytime in the future, we'll be here.
Yeah.
You want to join us then? It's going to cost you some more money to do that. And by the way, Petra would like you to make a cocktail, and she wants to know if that's an Isaac Asimov poster behind you.
An Isaac Asimov? No, that is actually my daughter who.
Well, I'm just responding to the comments that our people are sharing with us, because somebody has to do it.
Awesome. Yeah, that's way up here, the Star Wars thingy. I was just so engaged in our conversation. I'm not ignoring them. We're going to get to the comments. But thank you, Petra. Yeah, my daughter did that when she was, I don't know, 6, something like that. Crazy. Yeah.
I'm not a Star Wars fan at all.
Yeah.
I'm a Yoda fan.
I was so into Star Wars. I don't like the new ones. Haven't seen any of the new ones. Maybe the last couple ones that were out. So, but the first 3, dude, I was so into it. And I think it was the second one. Was it the second? No, I think it was the third, where they're going through the forest, right, on those hover thingies or whatever. They're doing that chase through the forest, whichever one that was. I think it was number 3. And nobody wanted to go. And I went to the movies myself. First time ever. Went to the movies. I don't care. I'm going to this thing myself. And I sat
with the Ewoks.
It was the Ewoks, but I don't remember if it was the 3rd episode or not where they went through that thingy. But anyway, I said, I don't care. I'm going to this thing. And even on the first one, I told you I said it like 10, 12 times, like easily. And half of those, if not more, were all by myself. Just kept going and going and going. At that time, what's the word? Basically, I could say the whole movie. What's the word I'm looking for? I lost my brain is like fried.
So we're talking tonight about Star Wars and the hero's journey and Joseph Campbell's Power of Myth as it relates to Brian Tracy's 6-word formula.
Everything is about the hero's journey.
Everything is the hero's journey. And if you're not dialed into the hero's journey, you need to go watch Joseph Campbell at Skywalker Ranch when he interviews Bill Moyers interviews Joseph Campbell on the Power of Myth and the hero's journey. That's some powerful stuff right there.
That one I haven't seen. I did see Finding Joe. Did you see Finding?
You need to watch that, because
cool.
His interview with Joseph Campbell and how he gets into Power of Myth and stories, and it's just incredible. And he discusses the whole Lucas and Spielberg and how it all began. And you look at any powerful presenter or speaker, it's the hero's journey. And we're all on the hero's journey. It's all part of what you talk about when we're writing copy. It's the connection story. In any good copy, it's like, hey, I went out and did this and I got my butt handed to me. I got slapped upside the head and I went back home with my tail between my legs. And then here's what happened. The light, the guru, the thing, the Joey appeared in my life and everything changed. And I now had the path, and then the force was with me. And that's the whole hero's journey story. And if you look at any good movie, any good book, you're going to see the hero's journey.
Yeah.
Why? Because we all relate to that. We've all been down. We've all been slapped down. We've all been like, hey, I'm going to go out and start my business. I'm going to go out and start an online business because I want to serve the world and I want to share what I know with people. And then you go and you do the thing and You should listen to it again, Lord. It is awesome. I every couple of years I'll go sit and watch those tapes because they're incredible. Follow your bliss is one of the things Joseph Campbell says. And so you go out and you go online and you build your thing and you get your funnel and you get to this and you run the ads and boom, it doesn't work. You do. Well, we all need a mentor like Obi-Wan. We all need Yodas in our lives. There is no try, only do. And so we get slammed down, and then we're like, okay, what am I going to do? And then you say, okay, I'm not going to let it affect me. I'm going to go find somebody who can help me see the light, who can bring the force to me, who can show me through Atlas that this is the way to do it. And the way I did it kind of was wrong. And then we get to the other side and say, hey, that's where you don't say, I was just like you, but let me tell you what happened to me. And if you have anything in your life similar to mine. And so when we go out and find prospects that we want to hang out with and that we want to serve, that are quality prospects or target audience or avatar or whatever you want to call them, who you define who they are. That's an important piece to this too, Joey, because you talk about in the club formula, the dream client. And we need to be able to define that really clear so that other people know. When we just opened up another Facebook group for our private people in this new program. And one of the questions that I want to know from them is, tell me what your mission statement is. Tell me what it is you do, that you serve, so that I know who's qualified to go do business with you.
Right.
Like a week or so ago, I had some peeps and I was like, okay, Joey, you're on a call with me at whatever time it was. And you're like, okay, I'll be there. And we got on the call and I was like, okay, you need to hang out with Joey. You need to get into Atlas because you need to understand what it is that he knows. Why? Because I know what it is you do and how you operate and who needs help from you.
And those are big points, Scott. And I want everybody listening to this to take these notes very carefully because, and I appreciate that. And by the way, they were in Atlas today. And by the way, they brought in, I think, 2 or 3, maybe even more into the group already within 1 week because they know already how the group is, right? The kind of people that are in there, how they are treated. And it all started because of you knowing exactly what I do or how I can help them. And
everything starts with me and because of me. Don't ever forget that.
I know. And we, the people who orbit around you, recognize that. And we appreciate that. So
just bow down is all I ask.
That's all we appreciate. So, but it's important because, today I talked about the Superpower Matrix. It's one of the things, one of the tools and frameworks that I use in Atlas. And that really is a very simple thing, which is what are your superpowers, in a matrix mix, which is, your unique values and the passions and all that stuff that you love. What are your unique experiences? What are the unique processes that you have? And what are you really great at? All those 4 elements combined together create who you are, your unique personality, your character, all that creates who you are. And then you go out into the world and you live in that matrix. In other words, that's what you broadcast to the world. That's what the world knows you as, which relates exactly back to what you just said. Because if I'm talking about everything, because you and I know a lot of stuff and we could talk about a lot of stuff, but really, what is our real superpowers? And if you focus on that, then not only do your greatest prospects see you, but ambassadors or people like yourself just who watch you know and say, hey, you know what, there's a dude, or I know this guy who does exactly the thing that you're having problems with, and that's where you spend more time, and it makes it easier for you to spend time with great quality prospects because they're attracted to your superpowers and you don't get bored of talking about this stuff.
You're so close to something, Joey. I want you to tighten this up and tie it together. I want you to tie in the superpower piece with spending time with better prospects. You're like, it's almost ready to click. Like,
I've been talking about this all day. So if you see something that I don't, please let me know,
oh,
because
you're right there. I want you to skinny it down to how does defining your superpower, talking about your superpower, tie into the 6 words of hanging out with better prospects, spend more time with better prospects.
it is all about the attraction part of it, Scott. Like, that's when you stay within your superpower zone, like the matrix, those 4 things, and they're combining stuff. Then the dream clients see that they naturally are attracted to you, and you're naturally repelling other people. So in other words, for a simple example, I like animals. I'm a cat person. I'm a dog person. If you don't like animals, then immediately that's something that you don't relate with me. And I'm talking about that all the time. I talk about other parts of my life or whatever, and so that is automatically attracting people and automatically repelling people. But the greatest part about this is that because these are all my experiences, we just talked about my club. I could talk forever about club experiences and relate them to marketing, to the stuff we're doing, right? All that stuff. And I don't get bored of it. Like, I could talk forever about it. And here's the other thing I told the group today, which was, when you have to come up with content or something, or there's like, I should really start engaging with somebody, or maybe I got to go and help somebody over there. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? Well, if you're zoned in on your superpowers only, and you're looking for things that relate to your superpower, that automatically motivates you. Even if you're not 100% that day, like, I really want to go out there and do this thing, that'll motivate you, because it's like, hey, you know what? That person's asking about copy or how to do video really, really quickly. I can answer that really quick. No problem, right? Because you're in your zone of genius. You're in your zone of superpowers. Does that help at all, or did I just miss the mark?
Well, what I'm pushing you towards is when you truly define your superpower and you put it out there, those people that need help with your superpower are the ones that are going to come and find you.
Yes, that's the attraction part of it.
And that's where a better prospect is somebody that wants what you have. And let's go back to Dean Jackson's cheese and whiskers. They'll claw through a 3-foot wall to get to you because you got what they want and need. And that's where the superpower definition and what's the word used? Amplification is vital.
Yeah, you're welcome, Ryan, and nice to see you here, Connie. Thanks for the comments. And it is all about that. One of the biggest questions that I get, and you get this one too, I know you do, is, where do I find clients? Where do I go find these dream clients? Where are they, type of thing, right? That's a valid question, because we always know that the answer is, where do you find your clients, is, well, where they hang out. Like, that's really the answer, right? But then it goes to the next level of, okay, well, I know where they are. How do I find them to get them to come to me? Or how do I find them? How do I go get them, basically? And this is the reverse process, because if all you do is focus on your superpowers, like you said, and you just talk about that all day long, then they will find you, and they will crawl through 3 foot of brick and mortar to get to you. Because not only do you align with they align with you, because you're not only just talking about business and marketing, you're talking about everything, and your personality. You're showing up as who you are. Your character is there. Your opinions matter a lot. It's not that you go up there and say, I'm right, and if you don't believe in me, then screw you. No, it's like, I truly believe in this thing, and here's why. And I'm okay if you don't align with me, but this is my opinion. And that is all these combinations help to attract all of those great dream client prospects. And it's just a natural feed. It's a natural thing that comes into your world. And it's awesome because, like you said, by the time they crawl through 3 feet of cinder block, they're pretty much sold. And it doesn't mean that they're going to buy something right away. It's the fact that they've crawled through to communicate with you so that you can communicate with them even more value in saying, whenever you're ready to go, I've got these things, just let me know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not rocket science. So I love spending time with those people. That's why, you hear me all the time talk about how small my list is, because those are the people that I want to communicate with, right? So the list builds ever so slowly. It builds enough, but ever so slowly. But the first thing I do, as you know, is try to get the wrong people off the list, because maybe they made a mistake, or maybe I made a mistake and said something I shouldn't have, and they shouldn't be there.
That is correct, Joey.
I think that is the longest pause of dead air we have ever had in our broadcasts. By the way, if you have a comment, if you have a question about your prospects or getting people into your world, please put them in the comments. We would love to help you. It's not just the conversation between Scott and I, even though we love talking, but we're here to help you as well. Thank you for being here live. Thank you for being here on the replay, if you're watching this on the replay after we're done. So thank you for being here. It's May the 4th. It is Star Wars Day, and we're here to spread some magic all over the world.
So, Joey, let's go back to the 6-word formula from Brian Tracy, which is spend more time with better prospects. What does that mean? How do you do that? How do you spend more time with better prospects?
That's a great question, and I think it's really related. Here's how I can answer this one. I'm going to back up again, because one of the things that I talk about huge is designing your dream day. Okay? And designing your dream day is about what am I willing to do? What am I willing to commit to? If I had to do this like every single day, what does it look like? And I know that when I ask that question to a lot of people, they will come up with stuff like, well, I'd be traveling, I'd be sitting on the beach, and I'd be doing all this stuff. And that's not what a dream day is, even though we think that it is, because those are the things that we miss in our lives right now. Like, oh, I wish I could travel more, wish I could sit on the beach and do nothing. But if you had to do that for the rest of your life, forever and ever and ever, you wouldn't be sitting on a beach doing nothing. You wouldn't be traveling every single day, right? It's like you're not going to go and pack your bags, drive to the airport, get on a plane, go somewhere, get off the plane, unpack, go to a hotel, go downtown, party, and do it all over again the next day, and then do it all over again the next day, because you like to travel. So that's where the dream day comes in. It's like, what would I really love to do every single day? And I think that you design your business around that. It becomes part of your dream business. And I remember a couple years ago, many years ago, actually, one of the things that I wanted to do was literally roll out of my bed and coach and get in front of a computer like this and coach. And here we are a couple years later, and that's exactly what I do. I'm 20 feet away from my bedroom, right, in my office. And that's what I do every single day. And if everything was all said and done in terms of no financial pressure, no nothing, everything is absolutely perfect, nothing's ever going to go wrong, my health is great, whatever, dude, I would still do it every single day, because this is what I love to do. And when you understand what your dream day kind of looks like, it's so much easier to figure out how can I hang out with better prospects. So coming up to try to answer this in like not even a short time, but to try and answer this was, well, what am I willing to commit to? And back then it was, the dream day was, I just want to show up and coach, right? Don't care how it is. And that's exactly what happens. But the more important answer to that was, well, you know what? I'm going to commit to coaching every single Wednesday. That's going to be my coaching day. Don't care how many people show up, whether it's 1 or 100, but I'm going to do that. And that was a couple years ago. And now you know how it is. And you saw how, the VIP thing took off. And it's like, well, dude, like you spent like 4 hours on one call. Well, I committed to that a long time ago. It wasn't like, well, I'm only going to do 1 hour every single Wednesday. No, Wednesdays was carved out years ago to say, that's my coaching day. Don't care what it's going to be like, right? So I was prepared for it to hang out with as many prospects as I could to build the business that I want around my life. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So we talk about spend more time with better prospects, and you and I both have small lists.
Yeah.
Mine's about to change, and because I'm going to spend more time with better prospects and a lot more of them. And you know from the get-go that I've analyzed my list in the greatest of detail, and I've got them segmented out. And I know how many people have got the piece of software and how many people have bought what, when, and how many people are in what categories. And when it came down to last week doing 2 lives, which was to share with them the coaching and training program, which we did. And then we had the replay, and I answered questions, and I figured out what was going on by basically doing a 3-minute rule presentation. I mean, the whole entire thing was a half hour. That was it. And at the end, it was like, hey, here's the deal. Here's the scoop. But the piece of it was in there. I said, here's the agenda for today. I'm going to start on time. I'm going to talk about this, gratitude for the people who've helped us go, and this and that. I'm going to talk about the new coaching, training, handholding program. I'm going to talk about the affiliate program. Anybody that wants to get in on the affiliate program, let me know. Go and send me an email, and you'll fill out the application. And of the 30, 40 people that were on the combined calls, of the few hundred that are in the list with the software, again, just keeps coming down to small. 10 people said, I want to be an affiliate and I want to do a premiere with you, which is what we call our launches. I emailed those 10 people and said, here's the application. It's 14 questions. It'll take you about 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Within an hour, all 10 had gone and filled out that application. Done. So I didn't waste my time on trying to get 100 people that would never do anything. I know those 10 people. I will now get on and I'll do a Zoom premiere with their people and do some special offers and figure things out. And it's spending time with good prospects. These are better prospects. I know 3 or 4 of them that are powerhouses because they're users of my software. And let's equate this to anybody on the call or anybody that's listening to this. As you start to spend more time with your people, your prospects, your audience, and you find out more about them and you listen to them and you take their feedback, as difficult as it might be at times, and you figure out is what they're saying valid or not, and you make changes and you grow and you hang out with them and you learn from them. Then you go out to them and say, well, we're doing this. And they're like, I want to be a part of this. We've talked about when live events become a thing again. People go hang out at live events to hang out at live events. It's about being around like-minded people, which is similar to better prospects.
Yeah.
If you and I decide to do an event somewhere, our people are going to come hang out with us, but more importantly, they're going to hang out with the peeps that we know, that we put together.
Yeah, with each other. Exactly. The community builds itself. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because, you'll sleep in the morning. I'll get up and lead a yoga class, and then we'll get together and hang out and make fun of each other.
Yeah.
And, then we'll just go do stuff, and then
it'll be a blast. I can't wait for that day to come, and that's really, one of the biggest things is that, I see, this week has been, because I've been building, getting data for Atlas and looking at the anti-Atlas thingies and all this stuff, it was difficult. I got to tell you, not to put the content together, but it was difficult for me to go in and see the stuff that's out there. Like it was just I know it's out there, but it was more of a reality thing for me to see it over and over again. And just the stuff that people are saying, and it's not, and a lot of it's not even their fault in the bad advice that's put out there, or even if it's not even, you could call it bad advice. It's just, well, I remember there was one thread I looked at. It was, how do I attract people, the better people that can afford my thingy or whatever? I don't know, whatever it was. And the comments that were coming through were just like,
I got it, Joey. It's the multiplicity effect.
Nice.
No, that is okay. That is the perfect explanation of what's going on in this online world, the multiplicity effect. Have you
And
seen the movie
yeah.
with Michael Keaton?
Which one? Oh yeah, exactly. When he multiplies 8 times or something. Yeah.
Okay, he's so busy, he's not enjoying life.
Yeah.
And so he finds this guy, I think it's to get him, whatever, and he clones him.
Yeah.
And the clone is really bright and smart, and he's taking over the business. He's doing stuff, but then the clone gets too busy, and he clones himself.
Right.
And when they get down to the 5th one, he's basically a savant. He's a total, spaghetti and this.
That's right.
The rule: don't sleep with the wife. Well, anyway, but that's what is going on here. Is somebody takes the first guy, and they kind of clone and take his information and go with it. And by the time it gets to the 5th, 8th, 10th generation, they're spewing forth this pablum crap that's based on the original dudes. And we talked about the Grand Slam from Ken McCarthy's book, 57 Big Ideas, where what's hidden is what they had to go through to get to where
for sure.
And so you're taking all of their stuff and saying, oh, this is how easy it is. You just do this, this, and this, and boom, you're going to make money overnight. And look at this boat full of beautiful women and all this money. You can be an internet marketer in your spare time. Just fill out the thing on the matchbook cover and you're in. And I think that's what it is, the multiplicity effect.
That's a huge part of it. That is a huge part of it. I think that where I was going with this is that there are just these answering the question of where do I find better clients. Basically, that was the kind of thing, right? And people who can afford me. And the responses are like, just bring in more people to this thingy, and you filter them through and you seed them, and the words they're using and the stuff they're doing is just like, dude, like, no, you don't do this thing over here, throw them into a Facebook group, forget about them, and seed them and do all this other stuff. No, if you're going to do a Facebook group and that's the way that you want to communicate, then be in that Facebook group and communicate. Spend time with those better prospects. Like, that's the whole thing. But it's not. It's about the one push button thingy. Just do this, bring people in, feed them through. It's kind of like this machine, like crank. Go ahead. Here's how you're gonna, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, it's not. That's not how you do it. At least that's not how I do it.
It's not how you do it. Unfortunately, it's what sells, because it's the same thing with, I got this thing right here, and if you eat a piece of it every day for the next 30 days, you'll lose 100 pounds and you'll be healthy, and every single one of your problems will go away. And people are like, holy crap, I need that. That's easy. That's simple. And so they buy it and they take it. And 30 days later, they're like, this didn't work either. And so then they get the rat feces in a jar, in a bottle, or they get the shots, or they get the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And at the end of the day, it's like you said many times before, people do not want what we have. People do not want to buy what we have to the result that they want. And if they didn't have to buy what we had to get the result, they wouldn't, if they could just get the result, but they can't. And they've been taken advantage of time after time after time after time. And you're changing the game. You're changing the rules by teaching people the right way to do it. Is it the fast way?
No.
Is it the get rich quick way? Is it the way that you're going to build a legacy, that you're going to build better prospects who turn into better clients, better buyers, become part of the family? Yes. And I was told a story today by somebody that somebody got into our membership, our coaching training program. And they said to somebody who said to me, they got in, they really wanted to get in, but they may not be able to stay in. It's $39 a month, and I'm not going to say it's only $39. It's going to go up to $99. For that individual, it's the challenge right now. But on the other hand, I just went out to this other person and said, I've got a project that I need some people who can use the software to make some videos for a client that's going to pay a lot of money every month. So, but to see that people really want to be part of it, and they'll do whatever it takes to be a part of it, because they know that not the better prospects want to hang out with cool people who help them get results, who provide value. People love you, love hanging out with you because they know that you're not full of crap.
Yeah, I hope that they know that
all the time. Sometimes full of crap. But in regards to better prospects, you go out. Okay, where are they? Everywhere. They're on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Vimeo, LinkedIn. Your better prospects are all there.
Everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. They are everywhere because some people don't like Facebook, so they hang out over there. Some people don't like that, so they hang out there and here and here and here and here. And it's starting in one place and finding them, and then going to another place and finding them and hanging out with them, and then getting them to come into your backyard, which is your Facebook group, your community, and then they're hanging out with you. And that's how we do it. And not just, I've got I got 100,000 people in my Facebook group. Great. How many of them are actually participating and part of it? Oh, a few hundred. Well, then what's the value of having that other than
But even if they did have that, and you hang out there and you start communicating with those 100 people or whatever, then that's where your better prospects might be. It's just choosing it. The thing that that we see a lot of is this whole mentality of trying to be everywhere, trying to be in all these channels and getting more eyeballs and all this other stuff. And I have a concept that I call the 4% multiplier, and that's where it's just like where is your 4%? Where are the 3 or 4 things that you do every day, hang out every day, that move the needle your business? Because 96% of what we do in our business is just crap. It just doesn't move anything. So if you know that and you understand that, which is the 80-20 and the 64-4 rule becomes this, the 4%, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you understand that there's 4% that can move the needle, where are you spending that 4% of your time? Right. And that's it. And if you just choose those 4% and you focus in on that, everything changes. Because I know people that know my 4% so well, not because I told them, it's because they're involved in it. They see me in that 4%, and they're like, "What happens if you lose this or that happens?" It's just I'm so involved in that 4% that I'm prominent in there. You know what I mean? And that's the key of it. So yeah, anything could happen. This group shuts down, or that happens with this. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that when you make when you are prominent in the 4%, your dream customers, and if they're there, they're going to find you. That's where all the focus is. And what you said is, this takes time. And I have been through the fast tracks, trying to do the fast tracks. I lost $12,000 in 90 days trying to do the fast track system with the Facebooks and everything else and all the fancy systems. And I'm not the smartest tool in the shed for that, but still, I think I could turn over a little bit of money. But it's like, you know what? This is not going to work anymore. I'm going to go do it this way. So we're either spending time and money and energy trying to build the fast track system, which usually doesn't work, as you know, or we spend the time investing in our business, investing in the better prospects, and believing that there is the result at the end of the day.
Joey, if we spend a certain amount of time each day with that prospect and we provide value, if it's one activity a day, you've heard me say it, at the end of the day, I can improve the quality of somebody's life by 10%. It's been a great day.
Right, for sure. And
that's kind of what I strive to do, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. Somebody today, shot me. Somebody paid me a bunch of money to write some copy. and it was great copy because I know how to write great copy. I'm not saying I'm a great copywriter. I've learned how to write great copy because of the years and thousands of hours I've studied and writing copy. And I wrote some great copy, and he had written a quick VSL he was doing. And I said, put it in a Google Doc. He put it in a Google Doc, and I went and he goes, it's like watching magic happen. Because I knew the languaging. I know the avatar's language. I know all of it. So I'm able to just go boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
To be able to go in and do that is so simple. So if I spend time with people looking at their pages or that and say, that's way too complicated. Let's just do this, this, and this. Use this headline, use this to get them to go to the next step. We're done. That's the superpowers. Everybody got that. And that's what you do with better prospects. You go out and help them. Now, are some of them going to be time vampires and window lickers and tire kickers? Oh, yeah. But you learn over time how to distance yourself from those people.
That's right.
By saying, okay, look, I got 10 minutes. That's it.
That's right.
Out for 10 minutes. I got to do this, this, and this. And then if it's like, hey, I like you. You're cool. Let's get on another call.
Yep.
and commit a certain time of the day to doing that. Again, you've heard me, you know, and many people have heard me. There was a point in time where I would just not intentionally for any end game, but I would go into Kajabi group. And when somebody had a problem, and I call it e-empathy, I say, I know how to help you. Let's get on a call. And in 15, 20 minutes, I'll help you. And that was that. There wasn't any discovery call or thingy call or clarity call or product or funnel. It was, no, you can't hire me. You can't talk to me. You can't have my stuff. You can't look at my website. I just wanted to help you out. If you went out and did that for 30 days, you'd have more business than you knew what to do.
I know. And that's the thing that they don't see. A lot of people don't see that is, you know, even when I look at programs that are teaching, you know, the first stages of understanding your avatar or your niche or whatever, and they'll tell you, just get on a call with some people for 2 weeks and ask questions and this and that. And people are freaking out. What? I got to spend time. Like, when do I make the money?
Yeah,
man.
I just run Facebook ads and do Google AdWords and drive people to my opt-in and get them to my thingy and get them to my, and I'm going to use the language, you know, get them to my lead magnet, my tripwire, to my core offer and my approximate return path and Slack adjuster, and get them to my $10,000 offer so that I can get on with my life and have my millions of dollars in my cars. That ain't how it works.
You know, and so, okay, so to that point, like, so here's an example of a superpower, using your superpower matrix in a situation like that. Let's say, and I've done this actually in the last, I think it was last week, where there was a thread about that. Like, and how do I do this? Basically exactly what you just described. This is not working. How do I make it work? Blah, 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 blah. And there is all these examples. Like, here's what you do. Here's what you do. Check your Facebook pixel, whatever. And I go in and I'm the total opposite. I'm like, you know what? You don't need to do any of that stuff. And here's why. And I tell them why. And then I would say, here's an example of what I'm talking about. Blah, 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 blah. Give them the formula, which is, or my process, my unique process. Remember I talked about that? What's my unique process? Here's my unique process. It wasn't that I went in there and said, here's the Superpower Matrix TM that I talk about in my course called Atlas. Blah, 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 blah. No, it's like, here's something that I use.
Yeah.
Give them the process. And hey, listen, if you have any other questions, let me know. Now, the people who disagree with that, they won't really say anything. They'll just disagree with it and move on. But the people who see that, who agree with that, like, wait a second, that's really different. I kind of liked what he's talking about. They engage. And then you get somebody who reaches out and says, checked you out in that post over there and just love what you're saying. Just wanted to say hi, like your vibe type of thing. And what do I do? Right? Do I say, hey, dude, got this PDF thing that you should download for free and you can try? No, it's like, thank you, Scott. That's so amazing. What's your business all about? Right? Have a freaking conversation. Yeah. And so, you know, this is the thing where it's funny because how do I have the conversations? Right? What do I do when people have the conversations? What do I say? What do you mean? What do you say? Do you go into a conversation at a bar with a script in your hand? Like, is that what you do? No, you just, there's context there. You might have an opening line or something, but there's a context.
One of the most powerful courses that I ever took, was a graduate assistant for, and then an instructor for, was the Dale Carnegie Organization. And in my opinion, our children should learn how to read, write, add, subtract, multiply, speak in front of a group of people, and take the Dale Carnegie course. If they did those 7 things, their lives would be a success. One of the pieces in the Carnegie Organization was called the Conversation Stack. And it basically was a stack of mnemonic memory pictures that if you went anywhere, the first thing was you saw this house. And like, okay, so where do you live? And then the door opened up, and in the living room was some furniture. How long have you lived there? And then out of the chimney was a hand reaching up holding an airplane. Do you travel? Where do you like to travel? The propellers were not propellers, they were tennis rackets. And so it's like, what kind of hobbies do you have? You make a list of questions that you have it, and you go, hey, Joey, how'd you get started in this coaching thingy? And you're going to go, well, I was in the real estate thing and I was doing this and that. Cool, Joey. I mean, how long have you been doing? So that's cool. It's the parrot effect too. Whatever you say, I'm going to ask you a question about what you just said. And after a while, it's like, hey, Joey, it was great talking to you. And you'll get off the call and go, holy crap, that was a great conversation. Only thing is, I never said a word.
Exactly. You didn't say anything.
All I did was ask you for no reason at all other than to become genuinely interested in you. I used to go to parties, and I didn't know anybody. I'd go with a date or something, and she'd go, hey, let's go to this party. And by the end of it, people go, who is that guy? Who is that masked man? She's like, because they didn't know who I was, because it was like I was genuinely interested.
Because you're not talking about you.
If you become genuinely interested in these good prospects and just ask them questions.
It's true. You're right. Like, that's where, if you're chatting with somebody or they message you or whatever, you're doing this thing, or even if they're on a discovery call or whatever it is, it's like, ask them about themselves, their life, their business, what they want, and all that. It's not where you've got this script going. I've been down the road. I've had the scripts here. I've had my Post-it notes. I've had my objections over here. If they say this, what do I do? They can tell. They can read it. That's because I suck at selling as it is. So why don't I just look at a conversation and go with it and have the context of what's going on in your life, like what's happening, and as well as I do. No matter how many times you could say it, even that they're clicking through and clicking a button that says, this is not going to be a sales call. This is not going to be, I'm not going to sell you. They don't believe that. They get on the thing, and you could have said it 1 billion times.
They can't
even say it right at the beginning of the call. Thank you, Scott. By the way, this is not going to be a sales call. And you're like, yeah, you're full of crap. Right. And then when it's not, they're like, wait a second. This actually was not a sales call. This dude actually cares about me. He cares about what I'm, and as well as I do, people love talking about themselves. And if you are genuinely interested, not just trying to get them to talk, to try and wait for the opening for you to stick in your, oh, by the way, I created a course that does exactly what, forget all that. It's like, you just have the conversation. That is spending time with quality prospects, and they may not buy. They may not buy on that call. They may not turn around and go, so how much is it coaching? I'm in, whatever, dude. No. It's spending that time so you can genuinely help somebody. You're building bond. They may turn around and say to somebody else, you know what? You got to go talk to this guy. He's amazing. He can help you with this thing. I talked to him last week, whatever it is, right? All of this builds that bond and tribe and community.
Exactly.
You're so right. You were so right.
Eric, you're right. Joey's always right.
No, that was for you.
Oh, okay. I thought it was for you, but it's the Joey show, so it's always about you.
No, it's not. It's about both of us.
I said it is.
All right. I won't argue with you, my friend.
I think that's a perfect place to leave. That you're always right. I think
leave on the high as always.
Leave on the high. Joey is always right. Listen to Joey. Do what Joey says, and life will become better.
Now I've got a great audio clip that I could use right there. Man, good talking to you as always. I know you're real busy. You've got your whole thing going on. Congratulations on everything. Thank you, everybody, for being here with us. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If you do, give us a thumbs up, a heart, maybe let Facebook and YouTube know that we're doing a good job, and maybe we can broadcast out to more people to help them with their business, marketing, all that kind of great stuff. And all the power to you if you are looking for your dream clients. This is the way to do it. Just be cool. Have conversations with people. They will come to you. Spend time with quality prospects, and not meaning that there has to be a sale at the end of that call or chat or whatever it is. Scott, talk to you soon, my friend.